Hello there, my name is Lou Wieland, and I publish the official relocation guides on Atlanta that are distributed by the First Multiple Listing Service of Atlanta. There are 4 publications, one for Cobb County that's published in conjunction with the Cobb Association of Realtors, one for North Fulton, one for Gwinnett, and one for Atlanta. They are in all of the real estate brokerage firms for distribution by the agents to people moving here and buying homes, and also for commercial buyers of real estate. They're also on the First Multiple Listing Service website that is accessible only by agents. And there are now 65,000 agents that access that website regularly for information about Atlanta. You have to be an agent to have access to that, but the First Multiple Listing Service is now serving Colorado, Alabama, Tennessee, Florida, and more areas to come. And even now, just recently added Los Angeles and other parts of California. So it's a large, extremely large, it's the 3rd largest, actually, multiple listing service in the United States, actually. Anyway, the magazines are in the realtor stores. There are 3 of which in the metro area that are provided for the availability of agents for resources and training. And they're also sent out each week to realtors for forwarding to their clients. They're filled with information about the area, helping to educate people about the metro area. I'm also a commercial realtor with KW Commercial. If I can help you with any of your real estate needs, my email is lou@louwieland.com. So today we're welcoming back Mike Plant, who's president and CEO of the Braves Development Company. And Mike has been on the show in the past a few times, and pretty busy guy. He's, as I said, president and CEO of Braves Development Company. Welcome back to the show, Mike. We appreciate your allowing us a few minutes of your time. I know you're extremely busy right now with kicking off the season again. And looks like a great year for the Braves again. And just to refresh our viewers, Mike has been heavily involved in the Olympics and was a member of the 1980 U.S. Olympic speed skating team in Lake Placid, and a 6-time member of the U.S. World Champions speed skating teams. He likes speed, and just told me before the show he just had an accident on his bike going 50 miles an hour, so he's not playing a lot of golf, I guess, right now. But he's quite an impressive background with the Olympics. Tell us what is your background? You can best articulate your background with the Olympic teams and the board and the management.
Well, thank you, Lou. Good morning. And I always say to people, yes, I did go around in circles, and I wore tights at an early part of my year. But the Olympic world was really a cornerstone and a foundation for me to get into the business of sport. When I was done with my Olympic career, I became very involved in I'd say the governance and political process of the Olympic world, both in the U.S. and actually all around the world with the International Olympic Committee. And I was fortunate to help Billy Payne and Andy Young garner votes to bring the games to Atlanta and the games to Salt Lake. And I've been to 21 Olympic Games and had various roles and capacities in all of them with the U.S. Olympic team mainly. But it's been, like I said, a foundation for my sports career where I make a living. And so this is now, believe it or not, our 8th season at Truist Park already, my 21st season with the Atlanta Braves. And Derek Schiller and I are the 2 co-CEOs running the enterprise for our chairman, Terry McGurk, and Liberty Media, which owns the team. And we've just had incredible success in Cobb. It's been beyond our wildest dreams how successful our impact has been for the community, the county, and the state, and certainly our team and our fans. So we're looking forward to kicking off this season in 3 weeks.
We are too. As a spectator and a fan, we are very much looking forward to the new season. And the the rumor is that the Braves now have the best starting pitching rotation in all of baseball. Is that true in your opinion? What's your paradigm on that?
Well, I'll tell you this. I think Alex, as always, did a masterful job this offseason acquiring really talented players that were pieces that we were probably missing last year. Starting pitching would certainly be one. You look at Chris Sale and the other pitcher, we got Lopez in December. Great pieces, great additions. We have a lot of young kids that will be in the pipeline. You don't go through a season with just your top five. Last year, I think we had 13 starting pitchers that started games for us. So you have to have depth there. And then Alex did another great job in showing up our bullpen. I think most people would consider we have the best bullpen in all the majors right now. We obviously were an incredible offensive team last year. We set all sorts of records. And so I'd say on paper, we think we're better than we were last year. And now we just need to start the season, start playing the games, and show everyone what we have. But it's an incredible team, great talent, great players. And I know I was down at the start of camp, and they're motivated. No one liked the way the season ended last year. So our fans should feel pretty good about the inspiration and motivation our players have for next year or this year.
So opening day coming up this month, and then out with Philadelphia, right, in the Phillies on
Correct.
On the 28th, right?
Yeah, thankfully, I'll say this. We don't have to be there when they are getting a World Series ring because they didn't eventually win it. That would have been really salt on the wounds for all of us. Remember, we lost our last game of the season up there. And then we knew the schedule at that point. If we would have had to open there and watch that from the dugout, that would have been a further dagger for us. So they got knocked out like we did. So it makes it a little bit easier to go up there and start our season.
I'm sure. So April 5th against Arizona here, opening
Correct.
day, and that'll be amazing, I'm sure, as always. And we certainly appreciate the great job that the Braves do, and they really bring a lot of recognition and pride. We're very proud of the Atlanta Braves and the entire operation in Truist Park and the Battery, and we couldn't be more proud of the work that you do and your organization. What is can you give us an update on the Battery, and what are some of the newest developments over there? And it's just a beautiful venue to walk around. Just to walk around is extremely fun to do. But how could you just give us a quick update on what you got? Some new hotel going up by Marriott, and
Yep.
and that looks very exciting. But the Roxy is going strong. Tell us about that, and some new restaurants, and just give us a quick update on what's happening over there.
Look, last year we did 10.3 million people step foot on the Battery. So we're the #1 lifestyle destination in the state of Georgia. We're #8 overall in the entire country. We know from our vision that we've created a very accessible, very safe environment that has a lot of authentic opportunities in restaurants and retail and entertainment options. And that's what's obviously driving a lot of those people there. Of the 10.3, 3.2 million went into Truist Park to watch our games, which is an incredibly impressive number. And that left 7+ million that came to the Battery, obviously, to enjoy all of the menu of what we have to offer on a 365 basis. So as we look forward, we've added a number of new retail and restaurant options. We have Polestar has opened a electric vehicle, small a small retail center. Sitka just opened their third store in the history of the United States, a very high-end outdoor retailer. So they just opened and had an incredible, impressive first weekend 2 weeks ago. We have Cultivate coming online. We have Battle and Brew that just came online. It's 11,000 square foot restaurant, gaming experience. So the lineup continues to get better. We're at a point, though, to be honest with you, where we really don't have any square footage left. And so the establishments there are doing incredibly well. We're about 9 months away from handing over our Truist Securities headquarter building. That's a 250,000 square foot new headquarters for Truist Securities. That's their investment banking arm. And that includes a 5-story parking deck with a 43,000 square foot trading floor on top of that deck. There'll be 1,000 employees in a year and a half working out of that building. So that's right next to the ballpark. And then across the street, in just a partnership that we have really driven by Goldenrod, is the Henry Project. That's 2 towers that they're currently in the process of being built, over 600 apartments, the 250-key Marriott Hotel, and 54 condos on top of that. Incredible amenity space, all connected by a pedestrian bridge that'll go right into the plaza between the Comcast building and Omni. So a lot of activity that's obviously ongoing and continuing to increase that footprint and the impact that we have. Last year, 2023, we generated $39 million in new cash for Cobb County in the state of Georgia, and that number is just going to continue to grow. So the success of our project, the impact that we projected when we started, far exceeded anyone's expectations. And again, it's just going to get bigger and better.
The hotels are extremely nice over there. You've got quite a few of them. How's their occupancy doing during the off season, and what is it expected to be like this season?
Yeah, so one of the things that I would say is we don't really have an off season, and that's because I think of the content and the different offerings that we've provided at the Battery. You mentioned the Roxy earlier, for example. The Roxy has over 140 events a year that take place in that venue, and it goes year round, 365. That was always the vision. That was always the intent. Granted, December through January, it gets a little colder. You have some tougher weather. We might have some nights that there's certainly a lot less people there than on a full weekend when spring and summer and the games are taking place. But overall, you don't get to 10.3 million without having a year-round type of facility, and that was always certainly the vision. Both of our hotels, the Loft and the Omni, are first in class across every benchmark in their comp sets. So we have no equal. They are doing incredibly well, and both those staffs do a great job. Again, off season of bringing groups in and transient. Last week, a big group was there for 2 nights, took the whole entire Omni again in the month of February. So the hotels are performing beyond our expectations.
And nearby, there are other nice hotels. The Marriott, for example, it's in walking distance, which is a beautiful venue. And so you're having a second Marriott coming that's over by the stadium.
And I think, a lot of those hotels, their bottom line has gotten certainly a lot better in the last 8 seasons, 7 seasons now going on 8. Look, Braves country expands 6 states in the Southeast. There's no other professional sports team in America that has that expansive geography that we draw fans from. The uniqueness of that is not only our Braves fans, but when we play the Cubs at home, the Cardinals, the Dodgers, you look at that 6-state area, and their fans travel far and wide to come and watch their team. If they're a Dodgers fan, it's a lot easier to come to Atlanta than it is probably for them to go to LA. So the hotels are filled not only throughout the season, but again, off season. But the season impact of us playing games is unequaled in professional sports because of how far our reach is, and certainly the reach of our opponents.
One of the things people, and I go to the games too. In fact, I had season tickets at the old stadium for many years with three other guys. We had four seats right in the first row of the upper deck behind home plate for 10 years, 8 years, I guess. So I'm a big Braves fan. I love the Braves, and
We appreciate that.
yeah, and so I mean, how would you describe the parking conditions now versus in the old stadium and the transportation? In the old days, well, there was a bus, and MARTA, et cetera. Now, tell us the difference and what kind of recommendations would you give people for parking, et cetera, logistics?
Yeah. Well, I'll just tell you this, when we made the announcement in 2013 that we were moving 12 miles up the road to Truist Park, formerly SunTrust Park, of course, certain individuals, they stirred the pot about how it was going to be horrible because of the traffic we were going to certainly going to create. The big difference, it's pretty simple. One, we spent a ton of time with transit and parking engineers, and we also knew we were not going to take our problems downtown and move them 12 miles up the road. Those problems were lack of parking based on the capacity of Turner Field, lack of access. We really had two access points to shove 8,000 cars into 46 acres of asphalt. And it wasn't a great experience, as you know, from being a season ticket holder. The number one reason year in, year out, people didn't come to more games was because of traffic and parking jams, both ingress and egress. So we spent a lot of time making sure we mitigated that. One of the things is right off the bat, we have 10,000 less seats. We have 14 access points at Truist Park versus 2. And they have basically, you can come in and out from 360 degrees around the ballpark. We have about 4,000 to 5,000 more parking spaces than we had at Turner Field with that 10,000 less seats. So we have never had a problem with parking, even though the Saber Rattlers was telling you it was going to be terrible from the first game. It worked the way we planned it to. We've made some adjustments. Cobb County PD manages all the roads in and out. They do a fantastic job. And so parking has never been an issue. And then I'd also say this, think about this. 10 years ago, ride share was not something all of us thought about in our life. the fact that the battery is there and we start seeing a volume of people for a 7 o'clock game at 3 o'clock, by 4 o'clock, the restaurants are starting to be full. And it's the same thing on the outbound. At Turner Field, everyone came about the same time and everyone wanted to leave at the same time when the game was over. There was nothing there for you to do to come early or stay late. All that has changed also with the battery. So better access, more parking, more opportunity pre-game, post-game that helps the interval of fans coming and leaving. And obviously then with the addition of rideshare, I think we have one of the best systems in the country now.
Honestly, if anything, that's an understatement because most everybody I know who goes to the games goes for dinner first. They go over and patronize the restaurants, which are fantastic, and quality and also variety of cuisines. And nobody's in a hurry to get out of there either. They wander around, and it's just enjoy the milling around. It's a beautiful just experience before and after the game. It adds a whole new dimension that you did not have anywhere near that at the old stadium.
Had nothing like it. Now it was basically get in and get out. So that's why we've had over 200 teams from all over the world come visit us, ask us to spend time with them, tell them what the blueprint is, tell them, the how-to manual, which there is none. We had a vision and we had a conviction. We believed in what we were able to accomplish and we're going to accomplish. And we created an incredible public-private partnership with Cobb County. Those are the recipes that you have to make this formula all work. And fortunately, that's why we are now the model. They come from far and wide, Japan, Europe, all over Asia, Latin America. This is the model everyone wants to emulate. and we're really proud of that. And like I said, you can't argue with it. It's working.
The forecast for business activity, what's that looking like? I'm in the real estate business and the polishing business, and because of interest rates, things are a little bit slower. What is the forecast for the Battery this year, and for attendance at the park, at Truist Park?
Well, last year we sold out 57 games. I think all of us believe that based on the talent we have, and again, the whole environment, the whole atmosphere, that we can achieve that again. I will tell you, we have a season ticket waiting list of 16,000. Back when you were a season ticket holder at Turner Field, we never had a waiting list. So that just shows you the level of interest in obviously our team and in coming to games. And then when you look at the Battery as a whole, again, it's a 365 destination lifestyle center. In addition to games, we hosted or activated over 370 other events last year on site. So we're constantly activating the Battery, and that's Monday nights. The yoga series started this past Monday. Once a month on Sundays, we do the farmers market. We do about 15 5K runs on Saturdays throughout the year. We have concert series. We do college football Saturdays. So there's just a lot of things we're doing to drive people there. Obviously, all of our restaurants enjoy the benefit of that. So our outlook is beyond robust. And as I said earlier, the fact that we're building a 250,000 square foot headquarters for Truist, that's our fourth Fortune 500 headquarter building in that small 60-acre space. So there's nowhere else in Metro Atlanta, and rare you would find any city in the country that in a small space like that would have that type of presence by Fortune 500 companies. So the future is bright for us, and we don't see any slowing down right now.
Are you looking to buy land adjoining nearby the park for expansion, for corporate headquarters and other activities, or what is the forecast for that, or is that private?
Well, I would just say this, Lou. Fortunately, we still have some more land, and you hit it on the head. Probably not the right time that we would actively go out and pursue another corporate headquarters or another piece of the Battery on just the land that we own. Although, we're in a unique position. We're not encumbered by a lot of barriers to it's just our lack of imagination, I always say, that would encumber or impede our growth. So we have opportunities without having to go out and buy more real estate. I always laughingly tell people, though, remember, we're not in the real estate business. And they always say, well, it certainly looks like you are. And I know, let's keep this in perspective. We are in the World Series winning business. The real estate, the Battery, the development happens to support that number one objective of going after winning it all every year. So to our fans, no one should ever lose sight of the fact that is what we all wake up every day thinking about doing.
Well, you have done a magnificent job, Mike, and I applaud you, and all of Atlanta applauds you and your team. Now, can we shift gears a little bit and talk about some of the starters and what's the lineup look like? Get up on a macro standpoint. We need some new faces and some returning faces in the pitching team and the rotation.
I won't do justice to this like Alex certainly would. He's obviously the expert. He's the one that puts his team together and identifies the talent we need to always look at maybe where we have to improve some of the positions. But Jared Kelnick came from the Mariners. He's our left fielder this year, an incredible talent and a first-round draft pick a couple years ago. So we're really high on him. I'm really high on him because he's a cheesehead like me. We grew up, obviously different generation, but our homes where we grew up were about 1.5 miles apart in Wisconsin. So we have that connection. As I mentioned earlier, when you look at guys like Chris Sale and Bummer and Lopez on the pitching staff, both starters and the bullpen, those are huge pieces that fill some pretty good some pretty good the roster and some holes maybe we had. Tyler Matzik coming back, right? We all think that's going to be huge. We missed Dylan Lee last year for a good part of the season. Those guys were big pieces of our playoff runs in the last couple of years. So, and then we're fortunate when you look at the talent of all the position players with Murphy and Travis at the catcher position, Matt and Ozzie and Ronald and Riley, Arcia. I mean, it's incredible when we put 8 guys on the All-Star team last year. And we think, this team is capable of doing that again because of the incredible talent we have. Young talent, controllable talent, Michael Harris, Spencer Strider, all guys that they want to win. And that's a unique, position to be in where you have players that maybe some would argue gave up more money on the upside, but they want to win. And we're really fortunate to have that type of talent on our team. And they proved it last year. It was 307 home runs, 104 games, 2 years in a row. We won over 100 games. All the so-called experts, they're predicting us to win over 100 again this year. Need to go out and do it, obviously, but the talent's there, and that should give our fans a lot of hope that it's all about getting yourself in the postseason. And then, as we all have seen, anything can happen. Arizona was the last team in last year, and they ended up going to the World Series. So just have to put it all together in that last 30 days.
Yeah, we're playing them on opening day.
Yeah.
That should be a big attraction, to say the least.
Yeah, no, I think so. And, you want to look, I learned this a long time ago is John Sherholtz taught us this is the best team in baseball is going to lose probably, give or take 60 games. That's a lot of games to lose, but if you lose 60 games, you're one of the best teams in baseball because you won now over 100. The worst team in baseball is going to win at least 60 games. That means you've lost 100 games. That's pretty terrible, but you're still going to win 60. So you think about it, it's all about those 40 games in the middle. You got to win those 40 games in the middle to be one of the best and get yourself in position to play in the postseason. And then, have everyone be healthy. We've had some challenges there in the last 2 years in that first round with Philadelphia. Charlie obviously didn't make the roster last year. Max has had some injuries that he battled with Strider the year before going into the postseason. You have to have everyone healthy. Your big guys have to step up. You need them to do it. The World Series here. I mean, look at what some of our guys did. Just the batting average, and then we hit 11 home runs in the World Series. Those are big numbers, and those are guys really stepping up. And then the last piece, you got to have a little luck. It used to be you need a call here or there. It's a lot harder to do that with the replay, but it's great to have a ground ball tweak through the middle, keeps a rally going. You get a ground ball that hits second base and pops into right field. Those are the kind of things you need. Obviously, a little bit of luck. Last year, I think about Game 4 in Philly. Ronald hit that ball to the left center gap. I mean, that was just a rocket. That ball scores 2 runs. The game's all different, but their guy made a heck of a catch. So that's the kind of luck you need to win it all.
Okay, well, in respect for your time, I asked for 30 minutes. You've been generous, but I would like to ask you one more question. What is the key? Is there a single key to winning the World Series this year for us? Because I know there are a lot of factors, as you just articulated. Is there any one key, single criteria that might be the crucial focal point? Because we all want to win the World Series. We've been so close, and everybody is just, praying that we can pull it off this year.
Yeah, I mean, you're asking Mike Plant, not Alex, but I think you get the same thing from Alex and Terry and Derek Snit. I think with the talent we have, if we go in healthy, we can win it all. We have an incredible depth of talent in our team, both on the offensive side and the pitching side. So we can match up with anybody and win it all. But you have to, as I said, you can't limp in there. You need to have everyone be healthy. That's the key.
We're all praying for Charlie Morton too, because he's what, 39, so he's
40.
Is he 40 now?
Yeah.
And
we don't talk.
so we're praying for his health, because he's a great relief guy. Is he going to be a relief guy, or is he going to be a starter?
No. Charlie's the kind of guy that, knock on wood, you're going to get 200 innings out of him. He is steady. His demeanor is so steady. He's the elder statesman for all the younger guys, and it's great to have him because he can inject a lot of wisdom into guys that look. There's ebbs and flows of the season. Look at Texas. I think once in August and once in September they lost 9 straight and a win in the World Series. So there's a lot of ebbs and flows that you need to work through, and you have to have those senior guys on your team that have been around. Marcell Ozuna is another great one that can, grab a young kid and say, hey, you have the talent. You need to work through this. Got to put more time in maybe, but it's a long grind through a season, and we'll have our ebbs and flows, but we have the talent to win it all.
It's going to be extremely exciting this year, and everybody is pulling for you, and you definitely make us all proud to be residents of our Atlanta metro area. So thank you very much for your competence, the role model that you set for our young children, young guys playing the game, and that is so important today, is to have good, solid role models. And we couldn't really ask for a better role model than the Atlanta Braves. So thank you very, very much for that contribution to our community.
You bet, Lou. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your time and attention. We appreciate you and your work. Thank you very much for watching, and have a nice day.